everybody. Hi, friends. Welcome to the show today. I've got Panzer here with us, who is like kind of done now. Say hi, Panzer. And of course, we have Rodney with us today.
Hi.
So we got something really cool, and so I asked Rodney to stop by and share what's coming up for us. What we've got going on is a live show where you will get to interact with us and the guides directly. So tell them what date that is and what time.
October 6th at 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. That's the Pacific Coast of California, 6 p.m.
Yeah, so it's going to be live, as I said, and we're going to be doing it through one of the venues. It'll be through YouTube, and I'll give the link. So make sure this page right here, as you're watching it, you somehow dog tag it, put it in your to watch later list, so you can catch our video then, and you're going to join us. So we're going to have you do interactive ask questions, and we're going to be taking the questions. I'll be going here, writing, and doing all the things I normally do, but also reading some of your questions out and taking them. And you'll have a chance to talk back and forth and have a discourse with the guides like we typically do.
It's so much more fun when, even if you don't ask a question, if you watch a session that's live, it's so much more fun, and your energy is so much more important, I believe, during those live sessions. And the fact that what happens a lot of times when questions are asked off air and then we record it, they get the answer that they get. With the live ones, they get the actual interactions, because the guides often will ask questions to clarify certain points. It's really remarkable, and again, better live than recorded.
I agree, and so again, you'll have a discourse with them, like you mentioned. They might ask a question back to you specifically, and they also really like to hear the what would you call it, the encoding of the messages as it's coming in live. So it's like they're feeling your vibration or energy. That's how they work. They read vibration, so they get that encoding as it's coming through your messages you write to us. So it's going to be fun.
What we often find is when somebody asks a question, they answer the question, and you say, how could that possibly be the answer to the question?
Right.
Just to find out later that that's not really the question that they wanted to ask, but they were scared to ask the question that they wanted, yet they got the answer to the question they wanted to ask, even though that's not the question they asked.
Yeah, right.
Did that make a bit of sense?
Yes, that happens all the time, and I'm always amazed. We don't know what they're going to say, of course. So we're just happy to bring this to you. We've been talking about it. Now's the time. I know Rodney has a tight schedule for his business, and I do too, and so it worked out to do October 6th. So join us then. So also today, we were going to talk about this new board I have. I got it in December. It's a glass board. I'm showing you pictures right now of it. And it's really a cool board. It was gifted to me by Rodney. Thank you so much. I love this board, and the reason why I wanted to pull it out today and use it for a moment for you all is because I want you to understand that any board works. Now, why does any board work? You guys know the answer? Because it's not the board that works, it's you that's the operator that works. So any board works or doesn't work because of yourself. It's all about vibration and energy and matching frequencies in order to pull in that certain type of communication. That's it, period. You're the one doing it. The board is just your permission. But this board is beautiful. It's a glass etched board. It's got really neat symbols on it. And it's made by this artist named Debbie Schaefer. Do you want to tell a little bit more about your inspiration?
I do. Interestingly enough, and it just came to me, that my inspiration was about, you and I have been doing this board work now together as partners for
several years.
No. I'm going to guess, if we went back and looked at the original thing, that
I know exactly
October
when it was.
6th
That's right.
might be the 3-year anniversary.
It was the beginning of October.
It was the beginning of October 3 years ago.
Gosh, okay, I think you're right on that. I was going to say it was the very first week of October.
It's within a day or two.
Cool.
Of that we started, and we started with literally gibberish. In that time, we've grown. Karen has her own totem, and really the animals that she really likes, which include the buffalo, the green sea turtle, the barn owl, and the wolf. And so,
What about these guys?
wait a second. And so I knew that I wanted to include those symbols on a board, and I was trying to find wood artists that would create a special board for me that I could actually put glass on top of and make her a special board. After over 2 years of being board partners, I wanted something that was different than anything else that anybody had ever done, anything else that she'd ever seen. So that was my inspiration for it. And then looking online, I found glass artists, and I thought, that is even more unique. And then I researched how they do it. They do it with sandblasting, or they'll do it with etching tools.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's what I really want to do. That's what I really want to do. So I created on Photoshop. I put literally hours and hours and hours into creating on Photoshop the board that I wanted to see for her, that would be in her home, that she could use, that would be practical yet bigger than the average board, and take away all the limitations that the boards have, like sliding the planchette off the edge and so forth.
Yes.
And I knew it had to have to do with angels and have that kind of feel to it. And then when she literally started talking to Sasquatch and this amazing hummingbird that was in her backyard, that actually came to her and fed right out of the feeder with her, and it's been posted
it flew up to me and went to my face like this. I'll show you a picture of it. And then it flew back. It was as if it was drinking, and it touched my finger, and it came up to me and said, as if to say, "Thank you for this food."
And then the later that evening, the board said that.
Well, the hummingbird.
The hummingbird through the board said that, or Papa, that is family. You are not, you guys are family, and that's how that bird sees you, as family. Is not scared of you, doesn't fear you, and so I had to include up here. I had to include Sasquatch and a hummingbird. Of course, the sun and the moon, I portrayed them as angels. The moon as a guardian angel, with female with a sword. Yeah. And the male as a very powerful, determined, almost overwhelming presence. And then Mary Angel, that is another one of and if there's questions that people ask regarding the deceased, then Mary Angel is who usually comes through and talks about them. And then Papa, that represents all animals,
animal consciousness,
and so we represented Papa in the form of a dolphin, because the dolphins were the first animals
that you spoke with,
that I ever spoke with.
I've been talking to animals since 1994, but when he jumped in, I think that was the first animal that came through, was the dolphins for you, and then buffalo came shortly after that, and then we started talking to a plethora of animals, and we still do to this day.
And so those were my inspiration. I had all kinds of other things that I wanted to put on it. But then I decided that going up and finding yes, no, even though we don't use those very often, whereas most Ouija practitioners, that's all they use. Are you alive? No. Are you here? Yes.
But why is that? The reason why is we use yes and no for clarity purposes for the most part, because if you learn to not just ask yes, no questions, you will start to get a lot more verbose. The message will be verbose, you'll get lengthier messages, and whoever you're communicating with, whatever you're communicating with, the energies will learn to spell and use this tool. So that's from Ouija 101. That's really what I really recommend you do. Do you want to tell them about the whole idea about how you found the craftsman in that process?
So that's where I was getting to. I was going to do one more quick thing, and that is the planchette is round and it has angel wings on it.
Yeah.
That was important. And they always go to a central place and stop when they want the conversation to...
For us.
For us.
Yeah.
And so what I did is I put a heart with wings on it in the center of the board to make it, that's the place we're going to stop. And then I put the yes and no on either side of that. Mm-hmm. So when we ask them a question, when it's still, they can just go yes, no. anyway, I found this amazing artistry in Palm Desert.
Okay.
And so I went to Palm Desert, and I stopped into their shop, and I took my artwork in there, and I showed their artist. And he said, "I love this. I can't wait to do this. This is going to be lovely. Yes, we'll do this for you." And I wasn't gone 20 minutes when I got a message on my phone that some lady, I didn't identify herself, said, "Please don't come back here. We don't do this kind of work here. We don't do this type of thing." And I thought, is it? And she was angry. I mean, she was angry.
Yeah.
And I thought, is it because it's Ouija, or because it isn't a big door panel that they make thousands and thousands of dollars on? But I believe it was the latter, because it was just done with such anger. So.
You mean the former is a talking board, a Ouija, not a $1,000 panel? Did you think it was because you weren't spending thousands of dollars?
No, I thought it was because it was Ouija and they didn't.
Yeah, talking board.
Board.
I think it's important to hear this, and you guys probably have this happen to you too. If you wear your Ouija paraphernalia, or you have your boards out, and I have them all over, literally all over my house. There's always like this weird stigma, and this is just glass. That's all it is. It has no special powers to it, although it's beautiful artwork, and I appreciate that, and that in itself helps raise my vibrations. It's really, the woman should be more afraid of Rodney, because he has the abilities to use the tool, and he has abilities to move into these realms, and so do I. It's funny how we want to point the finger out there at something else that's inanimate. So this happened, and I thought I didn't know the story till after he gave me the gift, and I actually wasn't that surprised to hear that, because people kind of get a little cuckoo around this tool.
So I sat on this for almost a year, and I'd go back into my Photoshop, and I would tweak it, I would look at it, and I would admire all the work that I had done, but I didn't think I was ever going to be able to get the project finished. And I was doing a trade show up in Spokane, and as fate
synchronicity, guys,
would have it, there was a glass artist right next to me, and I spoke with the son and the husband of this glass artist. Her name is Debbie Schaefer, Schaefer, of SchaeferCreations.com, and she,
link below, by the way, link below.
She was an amazing glass artist, and so without her being there, I approached her husband and her son, and they said, "Oh no, she would." I showed him my pictures, I showed him my renderings on my computer. "Oh, she would love to do this." As a matter of fact, her sister is a psychic, and she thinks this stuff is really, really neat.
And that's awesome.
And so she wasn't there. She was back at home, which was several miles away. And so they took this idea back to her, and she loved the idea. And interestingly enough, and Karen has already posted or shown you a picture of the board. When you look at that board, imagine that she did that upside down and backwards.
Right, it's not done on the top side of the board, it's underneath the board.
And it's all freehand. And she does it with a dental tool. The only glass artist in the US that does this type of work that way. And she doesn't do it with sandblasting, and she doesn't do it with the traditional ways that people do glass art. And I was just amazed, and
it came out nice.
It came out nice. I went and had this made special. I had it cut special, and I sent it up to her, and she etched the wings on it.
It's so nice.
And it was just if you could have seen the reaction that she had when she got it, that wasn't it.
Well, actually, it was down here like this, going.
But it was.
What did you get me?
It was worth the effort. It was worth the time that it took, and And so,
And I love it. I love this board. It's so special. One of these days I want to have it inlaid into a table. So I'll have my own little talking board, spirit board table with this glass top. How cool is that?
oh, that is cool.
Oh, I know.
That'd be cool.
I have awesome plans.
A chair on each side.
Exactly.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, so we don't have to sit kitty corner on a table like we typically do, and I do with all my partners. We sit kitty corner. This is just a lovely board. So what I thought we would do today is, since we just had this incredible solar eclipse, a lot of things are coming up for people. People are mentioning feeling ailments and changes in their body. Some people report headaches. Some people report needing extra sleep. Some people report being energized. I mean, a whole plethora of things are happening for people. It's because we just went through this wonderful gateway portal, and it really has to do with the heart. So today I have my rose quartz with me, represents the heart. I'm burning a green candle with my little Buddha statue. It also represents the heart. Green and pink are for the heart. And I thought, well, we'll just check in with the guides. One real quick message for you, for everybody here. Well, it's quick if they decide it's quick. To give us a message about related to post the solar eclipse now, post both these eclipses that happen in August, and to see what they have to say about it, and how, you know, we can all use this energy, take it in, and how we can even move even in greater ways. We know this eclipse was about transformation and transmutation, much like alchemy within the body, where you shift to another level. And so a lot of times when you have those kind of feelings in your body that are different, the ailments or the openings, it's because you are becoming more awakened. And what happens is it starts clearing away toxins and things that keep you down, don't allow you to raise up in frequency. So let's hear from them. The guys have a message for you. I already know that. They're saying that already inside my head, and we're going to go ahead and check in with them right now. So as you all know, I always have my audio recorder too. You never know what's going to happen. I'm definitely recording it on my camera, but also this is just for review, and I use a lot of this for writing my books. I want to go back and hear what the questions were, and it records everything. This is great. It's a great tool to have. All right, so as you know too, I always put the date in there, and I introduce the session. Today is August 22nd, a day after the solar eclipse, 2017, and we are here to address the message that the guides have for us about post-solar eclipse. You ready?
I am ready. Now, we've already done already did some work on the board before we started this, so we'll just go straight into it.
Yes, so we've already said our prayer, we've already grounded ourselves, our circuitry exercise, thank you, Rodney, and we're ready to roll. Here we go, guides. Just so you guys know too, the letters and the numbers are in different places on this board. It's not what they're used to, but they know this board really well. Okay, so Papa's coming in. Papa is the consciousness of animals. Thank you. Hello there. Nice to have you here with us today. E, A, C, H, A, N, D, E, V, E, R, Y, A, N, I, M, A, L, O, N, R-I-E-N-D-S. Okay, so they go to the middle. The wings, stop on the wings.
Nice.
Yeah,
they're
nice.
kind of a duplicate. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, these are felt pads on the back. I've talked about this before on my other show, Women of Ouija, to use felt pads will help anything move smoother across the board. We didn't need it, but I didn't want to scratch my
Don't
glass.
put glass on glass.
Yeah, that's not good.
Anything under
scratch.
anything's gonna scratch.
So we did that on this. So anyway, and you can use those felt pads also on your older planchettes. Because I have my planchette from '73, and I have one from 1892, and I use the new felt pads. All right, so this was from the Consciousness of Animals. I never know which of the collective's going to come through. And it's like this. It's like a lot of letters. So I just got to go through it, and I'll read it the best I can. Each and every animal on your planet, whether or not they were directly in the path of the moon, has been transformed forever. This is why we address you to tell you that they do this naturally, because they know this is best for the long-term success of the species. The human animal is reluctant to do so, though they would garner great benefit by doing this. We ask simply that you learn this important lesson from your animal friends. And what they're talking about is the transformation, allowing yourself to transform with the energies. Allow yourself to move through any aches or feelings anybody on this planet has had. You don't necessarily have to be in that direct path of totality that went from Salem, Oregon down to South Carolina, Charleston?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to be in that direct path. I was 60% down in Southern California, and you over in the UK or another country, might have been just a third, but there's a little bit of a transit. It doesn't matter what you saw in the sky. It happened, and it's affecting all of us as a collective group of a species. So they're asking us from this is to really take into heart their animals naturally follow the cycles, whether domesticated animals or animals in the wild. We could learn a lot from them to get back into this rhythm. So when you're feeling things in your body after the solar eclipse, just allow that to float through. Allow it to move through. Know that it's not permanent. Know that it's a clearing, a cleansing, a transformation, a transmutation, as we talked about earlier, like an alchemical transmutation within you. All the dross, all the lead is being released. All that part that's heavy in you is being released. But to get to it, you have to see it, feel it, hear it, know it. And that's how transformation starts. Animals naturally go, okay, something's changed. Now I accommodate. Now I've shifted. I've talked to many animals who've become sick, not because of the solar eclipse, for other reasons. And they just say, well, I need to change now. Something shifted in me, and now I'm going to change. That just means I just got to do things differently. They're not afraid. And so if we can learn anything from these animal friends, is that this is a wonderful time to really create that life of your dreams, move into your higher awareness, become your greatest self, express that, but allow these things, this residue, to just melt away. You want to add anything to that?
No, that was really, really good. It's always interesting to me that we're saying, hey, we're going to give you a message, right? And then Papa comes in and tells us it's about the animals, and you're one of them.
We're the animal species. We are animals, guys. Yeah. And I know they're also including in that, at least said animals, also everything, everything that's living. So the insects also, the fish, the fowl. I mean, everything that's living and breathing in some form or another, whether it's underwater or above water, is affected. They just tend to group it all into animals. So let me just ask them for any further clarification they want to add to what I said, and that will probably be it for today. Okay, we're ready for any further clarification. T A K E T H E S E T H O U G H T S I N Y O U R H E A R T. All right. I gotta separate these words a little bit. Okay. It says, take these thoughts with you, not in your head, but in your heart. So take these thoughts with you, not so much here, but definitely here. As we talked about earlier, this is a time of heart transformation. It's more of a feeling, so that's why you're feeling the sensations, you're feeling a lot of things. It's not so heady, it's not so here. And that the animals don't necessarily operate here so much with this either. They know it's within their instincts, within their heart. And for us, it's definitely here. This is a portal. This is our portal, how we are able to reach into other realms, especially when we're starting to move into the fifth dimension and other levels of energies, which means a higher vibration or frequency for ourselves to be within. So I think that was a very beautiful message. So let me just thank them. We thank you very much. This is how we always end. We thank you so much for coming through and appreciate your gift of friendship and guidance and inspiration and wisdom. And with that we say thank you. And that's it.
One more thing.
Yes, go ahead.
The one thing that this board doesn't have
is
goodbye.
Now, do you want to tell them why that is?
No, you do.
No, you do. You do.
Because they never
He created the board after all,
They
right?
never use goodbye.
Yeah.
They never, ever
Not for us.
use goodbye. Not for us.
Yeah, not for us. And I gotta say, I haven't used goodbye on this board probably even think, oh, when I was really young, in the 70s and early 80s, I would say, we gotta say goodbye. Because I didn't know. There was no internet, nobody to talk to about this stuff. Because I had a goodbye on my board. I thought we got to use everything on my board, you know. Why is it there? And then I learned after that, talking to some spirit guides that I met along the way, they just like to come to a resting point for me. That works for me. But some of you your spirit guides go to goodbye. But he didn't include that on there. But if they really want to say goodbye, they will spell it out. Godbye.
See you later.
Yeah, see you later. Hasta mañana. So anyway, there you have it, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Looking forward to you joining us on the live show, October 6th. Mark it in your calendars. We'll get back to you with the details for the link. It'll be on this page. I'll show it there. And thank you for joining us again. This was Creative Visions TV. I'm your host, Karen Dahlman, and this is Rodney, my board partner. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.